Welcome to another Hand Drink Solo 1-minute waffle, this time on the Winshaw Wines Usana Luck of the Gambler Pinot Gris 2018. Now, I seldom get so excited about a wine. Not necessarily because of what's in the glass, although that's great, but more because it's a wine that forces us to re-examine so many of the things that we take for granted when we think about wine. Straight off the bat, the color is an absolute conundrum. Like, what even is that? Pale copper? Aperol Spritz Amber? Irish stepchild orange? By Jove, man, what are you? And then when you sniff it, that's a whole new level of confusion. Cherry candy elements, spice orange, nectarine fruit, some sort of floral potpourri thing going on. It's all over the map. And sipping it doesn't clear anything up either. The texture on the palate brings more pith than Hemingway on a safari. Layers of blood orange, ruby grapefruit, nectarines, fresh hay, mandarin peel. Don't act like you've never eaten mandarin peel. So how did this all get into the glass? Well, for starters, you may have guessed this is an amber wine, which means it is a white wine made like a red wine, fermented on the skins. But Pinot Gris, is it really a white grape? I like to think of it more as the great confuser, a kind of gender-bending grape that really is more pink than it is white. And the name itself is kind of confusing. Pinot Gris is roughly translated to mean grey pine cone, in that the shape of the bunch of grapes is very similar to that of a pine cone. So Pinot, whether it's Pinot Noir, Pinot Blanc, or Pinot Gris, all come from the same root, the shape of the bunch of grapes. Now, Pinot Gris around the world is made in vastly different styles.
There are so many!
In Italy and in the US, it's often made as Pinot Grigio, which is a sure sign that the wine is going to be light, insipid, made in large quantities, fairly bland. However, Pinot Gris is completely different. Pinot Gris is concentrated and layered and textured, and as I said, pithier than Ernest Hemingway on a safari. Some of the best examples in the world will come from places like Alsace in France or Baden in Germany, but South Africa is producing some pretty delicious examples itself. So this particular bottle is from Winshaw Wines, who make the Usana range, as I said. Now, this outfit lean heavily into regenerative farming, and while they're not biodynamic certified, they avoid using any pesticides or herbicides in their farming. This wine is fermented in two components. 70% of the wine is made from grapes that are fermented on their skins for 12 days. The other 30% is fermented as whole bunch. So when you're fermenting something as whole bunch, it means the grapes and the stems all go into the pot. And of course, by pot, I don't mean pot at all, but rather a combination of old oak barrels and a concrete egg. The color is pretty confusing. It doesn't really help you to figure out what temperature you should be serving this wine at. I would serve it lightly chilled, but definitely not ice cold. Given that this wine is almost certainly a Bizarro level wine, I would love to hear your thoughts on it. So when you have time, leave a review on the website, and don't be afraid to ask any questions you might have about this wine. If it's not answered in the text next to this video, I will get back to you with the answers, and if I don't know them, I'll make sure that I get hold of Winshaw Wines and see what they have to say about it.